I nailed the dark shift. You are just smashing it. Because I see people pricing these beautifully detailed, amazing sets of nails for like £35. And she's like, Centers isn't really what I wanted. And I'll give you a tenner.
Welcome to Nails and Yap, the podcast where I do people's nails and we have a good old natter. I'm Laura, I'm a nail tech, and after years of hearing the funniest, deepest, and most random chats, I thought, why not turn it into a podcast? Whether you're a fellow nail tech, a client who loves a good catch up, or someone who's just nosy about the beauty world, you're in the right place. Hi, welcome back to Nails and Yap. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I'm joined today by Liv, and we're going to talk all about press-on nails, which I'm really excited to talk about because it's not a topic I really know much about. So I'm really excited to learn, first of all, and I think it will be really interesting for you guys as well. So Liv has been doing nails for 5 months, which I genuinely, from her Instagram and TikTok, like when she came, I was like, how long have you been doing nails? I'm thinking she'd say like 8 years, and she was like, since February. And I was like, what?
She was gooped.
Yeah, but I genuinely was like, no, if you'd have told me years, I'd have believed you because she's incredible. Obviously, she'll be tagged in this video, so you can go and check out. No, you're welcome. I genuinely, I don't know, the nail art is like, I was like, please don't ask me for anything crazy that you can do that I can't do. So, yeah. Today, she's here to talk about press-ons, which I think a lot of nail techs haven't really considered as an income stream or as a thing. I certainly haven't anyway.
Yeah.
First up, what are we doing on your nails?
So I was thinking, so I notoriously, for the whole of my life, have had like really rubbish nails.
Okay.
I really tried not to swear then. I was gonna.
You can swear. We're allowed to swear.
Okay, my nails are dog shit. So I was thinking like a full covered tip, but like a short, full covered tip should. And then I love a juicy cat eye, glossy, juicy, kind of like amber jelly cat eye in the middle.
Yes.
With like a so sorry, with like a chrome border.
Do you know what? If you just said this to me like a year ago, I'd be like, yeah. And now I've got the Sissy anti-chrome.
Yeah, Sissy.
She's a queen.
You're
And
the one.
no, it's such a good product, and I'm like, I don't care. Anyone can have a isolated chrome, and I don't get the sweat.
Gorgeous.
So, do you want to chat through how you got started? How you started selling them? Was it to like existing clients? Was it to new clients? Just tell me how you got going with the press-ons.
So I'm going to preface this by like saying I am winging it.
We all are.
But we are, right? Like, I'm not going to sit here
or pretend I'm going to sit in and be like, yes, I've got a whole business plan and I know exactly what I'm doing.
I really don't. But it was just more of a case of so just for context, there's a lot of law that has led me to this place. And I will try and keep it all very relevant. But I'm an endometriosis girly. Shout out to my endo roots. However, I had my fourth. Yeah, it was my fourth endo surgery in January, just gone. Yeah, I was just done with that being my life. And yeah, on sick leave from the job. So the job that I was doing was also working in mental health for the NHS, specifically perinatal mental health. So looking after ladies up to 1 year postpartum. And that was great and everything, but like it just didn't feel like it was serving. It wasn't bringing me any joy,
which is so important
anymore. Like it had been, and it was a gorgeous job for a while, but it had an expiration date, and I'd always done the sensible thing, and I've always got what people have deemed to be the sensible job, and I just had a real like bucket moment of just being like, I'm just gonna do this thing that actually I know I really enjoy and could actually make me a little bit of money, because I won't lie, I wasn't earning loads of money with the NHS. With that being the case, I just kind of was like, look, if it doesn't work, I can just get another job.
Yeah.
Like, nothing's permanent.
No, it's really not. And I think like years ago when I used to think about self-employment, I'd be like, oh, I could never do that. I'm like, really? Yes, it's scary when you first do it. I'm not downplaying that at all. Like I had the same.
Still dead.
Like you get the fear, don't you? That it's, what if it doesn't work out? But realistically, if it doesn't work out, we just get a different job. Like that's
nothing certain. Like you can just make these choices. Yeah,
and 100%.
Yeah. So I think I'd just got to a point in my life where, as well, I do also want to caveat this with the fact that I'm in a very privileged position in the fact that I've already bought my own house. I'm married to a lovely, lovely, lovely man called Matt, who is the father of my beautiful little girl. And so, like, all of the things that I think would I'd say put me off from doing the self-employment jump,
Yeah.
I've kind of like ticked off.
They're already in place.
They're in
aren't they?
place,
Yeah.
and so the jeopardy isn't quite as high. So, like, it's not as much of a risk. It's just not as much of a risk. Whereas previously, I've always kind of been like an island. I've been on my own, and it's been like, no, Liv, you're going to do the job that like is going to be guaranteed money, and is going to help you pay you rent, etc., etc. And a creative job just isn't it on the cards for you. I just kind of accepted that. I started to think about what it was that I wanted to do, and as a bit of therapy, really, especially with being a mum, like I hadn't had time, and I don't have time to like go to a salon and get my nails done. Like, yeah, it just hasn't been something. So I started to do that for myself. And I found that the more that I did it, the more comfortable I got with the product. My little kind of like ADHD brain squirreled away lots of little tidbits of information that helped me like learn how to do them properly,
Yeah.
how to use them safely, etc., etc. I got to the point where I was like, this is actually bringing me like a sense of joy and like creative outlet that I had not had.
So at that point, was that just you doing your own nails? It wasn't press-ons. That was
No.
just. So then, where did the press-ons come into it?
So I decided to like train to do your nail tech thing in terms of doing it on other people. And I did an online qualification because I'd actually spoken to a nail tech who I really respected the work of, who is Teresa. She's Real Nice Nails, and I'd admired her work for years. And she was like, I feel like you're good enough. You could do an online qualification. Like, your structure's already there, your theory's already there. Like, I think you just need to get insured and start really practicing on a
Start going for it.
Essentially, the press-ons came because I was like, I need another income stream whilst I build up a client base to kind of give myself a proof of concept to be like, if I can go balls to the wall with this and like make it work, how can I maximize my coverage / impact? And I think it all came from like I started my social media accounts, which, by the way, I just give myself the ick like every day because I'm just like starting a TikTok account, and my two half sisters who are in like their late teens are like, "Lol, you're gonna be an influencer, are you?" And I was like, I'm just gonna give it a go because, again, what do I lose?
Yeah, what do you lose?
And that's something that motherhood has given me, like a real kind of like bucket energy of just being like, oh, do you know what? I'm just gonna do it, and I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Don't care what people think of me.
We're just out here trying to earn money. We're just trying to run our businesses. Yes, the internet can be cringe, but do you know what? I never look at anyone else and think you're cringe. So then it's like, it's only yourself. And once you get over that, I don't care anymore.
No.
Have you hit that point where you don't care?
Well, no, because it's like, ask yourself, why are you cringing at this person? And it's likely because they are exhibiting some kind of vibe or some kind of behaviours that you just wish that you had the freedom within yourself
to do.
I believe that when people are like, oh my God, that's so cringe, like, what are they doing? I'm like, you're projecting your own insecurities and your own unhappiness. Like, let people live.
Yeah, and I also think like when it's you recording yourself, half of the battle is getting over like, oh my God, does my voice sound like that? Do I look like that? Because you only look at yourself in the mirror from certain angles, and then you see yourself from other angles, or something's not flattening. And I used to get it when I started the podcast, and I'd be like, oh God, is that what I look like from that side or that side or whatever? And now I'm like, yeah, that's what I look like, that's what I sound like, and it just is. And I'm not bothered anymore.
I made a very conscious decision to be like, post as if you're posting to your mates.
Yeah.
Because that is who you are.
But I think that works really well because then it makes you feel like relatable and like you chatting and people can trust you.
And I feel like it then attracts the type of clients that I'm like, I vibe with quite well. They do say, don't they, like you attract the tribe that you want to attract. I don't want them to feel depleted when they leave. I want them to feel like their cup is full, like it's been safe, and like they want to come back, essentially, because then that's the whole premise of me wanting to try and make this a thing. But with social media thing, people had been messaging me being like, oh, you're based in London? And I'd be like, no, I'm based in a little village in
between this awkward place between Warrington and Manchester, and do you know it? And they're like, no, I don't know it. And I'm like, they're not going to travel to me to get the nails done
Yeah.
by Coniston. And they'd be like, oh, if you know, if I could get my nails done by you, for you around the corner, I'd be like over there next week. Like, and that was a repeated experience. So I was like, well, I'll just send them nails. Like, it wasn't any like real massive business plan or anything like that. It was like, I'll just send them in the post.
Yeah. Yeah.
And see if that works. Like, make that work, make that a thing. You know, I can imagine, like, maybe if you've gone to college and trained to do nails, in your head, naturally you're going to be like, well, I'll be in a salon environment probably, and this is just the way it's going to go. Whereas I think because I've come at it from a different angle, it might have helped me to be a bit more like, there is literally no reason why I can't do it all.
So what happened then? Were you kind of like, I need to source a brand of tips? How did you then go from like, I want to send them to people, to like making that a physical product?
It was kind of just like find different people around the world that do press on nails and kind of get a feel for their process, and then kind of adapt that to something that would feel like it would work for me. A large amount of the press-ons that I do, I use the Apres tips, because I feel like from what I gauged with my research was that I could develop quite a coherent sizing guide based on their size. Does that
It's sizing tricky, because I presume that is very like,
I think,
and client's not sat in front of you, right? So high.
I see it as like an element of like a trust exercise, that you can trust that they are going to be savvy enough to know how to do it. It's like they'll DM me and I'll say, what is it? What kind of length? What kind of shape? Etc. Etc. Are you looking for? Once I realise, say for example, they want a long almond sculpted tip, they won't know it's sculpted that they want, but if they send me an image and it's quite clear that their nail beds they've got like a nice deep C curve, then they can go for like a sculpted tip. If they send me a picture of their hands and it's clear that their nail beds are like flatter like mine, then I'll go for just the natural tip. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so you kind of like, you're looking at the structure of their natural shape as well.
And then I essentially just say, do you have any sellotape at home? If not, go and get yourself some sellotape.
Right.
And they measure their nail bed by putting a bit of sellotape across their nails. They draw a line in pen from one side of the nail bed to the other, and then measure that. When it goes, then is flat on a piece of paper, they can measure that in millimeters.
Oh.
I then send them a chart that says 5 millimeters equals size. I mean, off the top of my head, I don't know. I'm going to say 2. That's probably incorrect. But I have, I've created a little chart that corresponds to each measurement. And then basically I'm like, if you don't exactly match the tip size, always just size up and you can file them down when you get them.
So there is the option for people to do that. It's not like if they come and they're too big, it's tough and
they can like gently kind of like file the edges down. And usually it's only, it's like 0.5 as a millimeter. That's why I always say I'd rather them size too big, because then they've got like the real estate to work with to get them to a custom size. But so far, everyone's been very diligent with their measuring.
That's good.
And that's good. If you've got any doubts, just like send me there's so much that you can communicate via like voice note and messages, and it doesn't have to be kind of like too, obviously this is not a scalable method.
Yeah.
So say if it gets to the point where I was like, there are hundreds of people messaging me, like I'm gonna have to find a different way of doing it. But so far it works.
So how were the first sets you did then, in terms of like the nail art and things like that? Was it harder to do on the tips? Because I only ever I prefer painting tips to a normal nail.
Yeah.
But I've only ever done them when they're already on a person's nail.
Yeah.
Like in this instance, I've never done them.
So much more opportunity to really go in on the detail.
Right.
Like it is a totally different experience. Like you are crafting, like you can sculpt, I could do that on someone's nail, but like you've got the luxury of time. Yeah. You've got the luxury of like having all the angles that you could possibly want to create a certain structure or a certain effect. And you also don't have the pressure of being like, oh shit, I've got that bit wrong, and now I'm just gonna have to like maybe cure. That's already cured. Oh shit! Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not the jeopardy again. The jeopardy's not there, so you kind of got that kind of opportunity to play
a lot more. There is a lot more creative play that you can achieve through doing these press-ons.
Do you find that ever flips the other way where you're spending way too many hours versus what you're charging and you're like, shit, okay, I need to flip back?
No, because
Oh,
I'm
really?
again, I kind of come at it from an angle of feeling like I will get paid X amount an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to make it work within that time.
And
Again, for my brain, that level of pressure creates something what I feel is actually like pretty good. If someone was like, you've got 2 weeks to create a set, I'd just procrastinate it and it would get to like the last minute and I'd feel like, "Ugh." So I'd rather say to myself, right, 4 hours for a detailed complex set. Like I did a set for a girl called Chloe, with my first set of press-ons. I don't know if you've seen it. It was basically like cat eye, duochrome, there was isolated chrome, there was gems, like it had everything possible on it, and they were like long golden tips. And it was so fucking fun. Like I just set up and then within a day, like they were done.
Yeah.
And I just went it like hyper focused and then just like got them sorted.
I think that's such a really good skill to have, though, to be able to set that boundary with yourself of like, this is my hourly rate, this is how long it take, I'm not going over. Because I know I'd be like, oh, I'd just lose track of time. I'd go completely time blind. I'm not doing it.
I had to fit my little girl up from nursery, so I had no choice.
Yeah. Yeah. You're forced into it.
Life has kind of created that. The boundaries I have to stop by a certain time.
Yeah. But I really respect that because I think that's such a hard skill to have, is like to set those boundaries with yourself. And I think it's not who's a beautician.
Regular area of my life.
Don't be fooled.
No.
But I think as beauticians and nail techs, we're kind of, so many of us like book time off and then work loads of extra time around it, even though we said we wouldn't, or we end up working on our days off because someone's asked for it. And it's just such a common thing that we don't stick to our boundaries. So to be able to do that, I think is really good.
From my perspective, if I'd have started doing this before my little girl, I'd have been that girl.
Right.
But she's like the perfect, it's like it's not me that I'm setting the boundary for.
Yeah.
That's probably not very healthy. But like I'm like,
no, but she'll be like, wait, no, she's like, where's my mom?
like it's so much easier to set that boundary to advocate for this little being that you love. Like that's so much easier to, in my brain, the logic is there. Like that feels better for me.
Well, you can't not pick her up from nursery if you've got that time. You've got like a hard deadline, haven't you? You've not got all the minutes to sit and play around and be like, oh, I'm not quite sure. No, this will wipe off again.
So you have to kind of, it does become a bit of a pressure cooker situation. But for me, that's when I perform best.
Yeah.
Like I perform much better.
So your first buyer found you online then?
TikTok.
That's fun.
Yeah. So I think it was kind of like I put the feelers out and was like, would anyone be interested in some press-on nails? And then luckily she messaged me and was like, yes, Liv. So that was just all via DM. She sent me some inspo and she was like, look, I trust that you'll create something that I like. Here's a few pictures to start you off. And it wasn't pictures of nails. It was like pictures of just like, because I like people to be like doing a mood board.
I know what you mean because I've seen other people do this.
Yeah.
And it gives me the fear. Like, you know, when people are like, oh, here's a curtain I saw in a pub and I want this on my nails. I'd be like, bleh.
But it's different. It's everyone's brains.
My brain just goes into meltdown. I've only ever had it when it was someone's phone case and I was like, okay, I can do that. Yeah. Right there.
Well, that's fine.
But
that's like, your way of working.
The creativity some people have to turn like literally like a book cover into a set of nails. I'm like, you are just smashing it.
I think it's just more of like I break it down in my head as like immediately I see something in my mind's eye. There's a color palette. There's texture. There's a vibe.
Yeah, so you're looking like what those things are.
It's bringing those elements out and making sure there's cohesion there. But making sure that it feels like a set without being repetitive. That's very much like in my head. I was like, if I'm gonna make this work and this is something that's gonna make me a living, then I need to find some way of like standing out. And that's not me saying that like what I do is totally unique.
No, but you're probably not going to get loads of people who are going to order like French nail press-ons when they can get them from Primark, right?
Or from someone that like specializes in like super clean, like that might be their niche. I guess it's just carving out what I felt people resonated with more, because my first instinct was always be, how can I do what, like, this person's successful, therefore I will do what they're doing. Originally was my instinct, and then I was like, no, Liv, it's a oversaturated market. I need to find, and if I can't find that, then maybe this isn't gonna, it's a pipe dream. What helped was because it then came in tandem with me building the social media stuff. I kind of like feel like this probably sounds really sad, but I've got like some really gorgeous like online friends.
No, that sounds sad at all. I love that.
But like from all over, and who are just like so willing to support the work that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And like we just interact like we're just the girlies.
And are they nail techs or not?
Yeah, like it's a mixture.
Yeah.
Nail techs, like some girls are like influencers, some girls are, or some guys are, you know, they do whatever, but whatever I make seems to resonate with them, and they seem to enjoy that. So that commonality, like that common ground and common interest, has brought us together. And I think potentially that's them, incentivized them to want to support me.
Yeah.
Because I've also then been quite open about how I've got to this place.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to say to anyone, like, I know exactly what I'm doing. It's very much like, here's where I'm at in terms of this process. I've just handed my notice in my job.
People love to see the journey,
There is such a monopoly over people's attention on social media from brands that a way to stand out is also giving people that authenticity to kind of cut through that noise, because people aren't fake. They know when someone's trying to sell them something. Yeah, even if it's subtle. Do you know what I mean? So I'd rather be open and upfront with it, being like, I'm trying to sell you these press-ons because I've just quit my job.
Yeah.
And I need to pay my mortgage.
Yeah. Gonna be so real here. I need to eat.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna pretend that I'm anything other than just some, like, just random gal just trying to start a new career and starting a living. So as much as people being like, I'd love to come get my nails done, but I don't live anywhere near you, there's also this element of people, like, they might not, for a sensory perspective, enjoy having gel nails or the experience of having their nails done, like a salon environment. They don't want, there's so many different reasons why people might want to press on nail, and why should they have to settle for something that's kind of like
doing their own like Essie polish at home, because
or like going and getting like a press on that just doesn't allow them to express themselves in the way that they want to. Like, there are so many avenues to expression, and I do think it's kind of as deep as that. Like, because some people are like, it's just nails, but it's like,
it's not just nails, or it really isn't.
We all have ways of expressing ourselves, and I do think like nails has become such a huge way of like an extension of yourself. Just like, I don't know, with like getting tattoos or piercings, or the way you want to dress, the way that you want to colour your hair or not colour your hair. Like,
the nails are on short all the time.
Absolutely.
And they really do say something about you. And that's why there's, you know, TikTok search bars of clean girl nails or alternative girl nails, because it says who you are to other people. I feel like that accessibility angle is such a good point, because I would never have actually thought about that being a reason people would get press-ons, but it makes so much sense.
There might be people that aren't able to leave their house. Why should they not be able to have? And I get there's like the mobile nail tech option, but then you've got different layers. They might not be perceived in that state. There's so many different...
and it depends what their setup is at home, and also, like you say, if someone can't sit for that long, that doesn't change whether it's them coming to a salon or it's mobile, like their kitchen table, like they still can't sit that long.
I want someone to feel like they've got something that's like, if they've got a vision in their head and they want it to be brought to life, and I can help them do that. And then by the time they're on their nails, they can feel some type of way by themselves, and it gives them that boost. Like, I just think that's such a gorgeous
thing to provide. No, it really is. That's such a nice way of looking at it. So how long does a set actually take to make?
Honestly, I know this isn't a very useful answer, but it totally depends.
No, that is so valid.
Another boundary that I have in place is like, I'm not going to work Saturday, Sunday, Monday, because until my little girl goes to school next year, those are my kind of like, especially that Monday, that's my time with her that I'm not going to be able to necessarily get back. My actual life is going to impact on how long a set might take, because it might be stop start. have kind of like maybe like 3 sets per week on rotation. There are some sets that I can like, if I get into the flow of it, I'll be done within 2 hours. There are some sets that might take me longer because I'm just not quite.
So how do you work it around your salon clients and like your like physical in the chair clients?
So I have what I call a private studio, i.e. my dining table.
So real.
Which is hopefully going to eventually be like a shed cum studio space at the end of the garden.
Yeah, gorge.
That kind of vision.
That is the dream.
It is the dream, yeah. Again, it's very at the moment I'm quite ad hoc. I will prioritize the in-person clients that I've got coming in because I know that they're going to become repeat clients, and I want to kind of like essentially like foster the time with them. And I love the social interaction that I get through doing people's nails in person. I guess it is just kind of like I said, I'm winging it.
Yeah, as and when it.
I can't give you like an actual.
So you're not sort of like, I do press-ons Tuesday, Wednesday
No.
evenings, I do in the chair Thursday, Friday.
No.
You're still at that stage where you're building it up and seeing how
I
it.
do not have the capacity for such organisation. Again, if things started to scale up, that would change. I'd know that there need to be some form of structure. And it will change, like, when my little girl goes to school, Mondays will become free. So that might be on my press-on day. Like I'm just going to kind of like feel it out and see what feels good. And again, I'm in a very privileged position that I can actually make that choice.
I think though that's the beauty of a job like this where you are self-employed, you are working for yourself, you kind of can carve out that flex you need and it can work with your life. And that is why
100%.
why we do it, isn't it? That's why we're all
A huge appeal. It felt like the right time for me to do it because it was very much like, if I don't do this now and take the leap, like I'm just never going to do it. Life is going to move on. I'm going to get wrapped up in the next stage of life with my little girl, and I'm probably going to sit there being like, oh, mummy wishes that she'd have got and done something, but never did. And then she'll be like, why? And I'll be like, I don't actually know. Why didn't I? So it was very that as well, being like, what do I want to tell her? What do I want to show my little girl, if possible? Like, it's not necessarily about how much money you can make. It's about what are you doing, and is it like blowing your cuff? I was saying to one of my best friends the other day, I said to him, I was like, I think this is what people mean when they say they have ambition.
Yeah.
Like, for the first time in terms of like a career choice, I feel totally like impassioned. I feel really infused. I feel like fed creatively. Like, all of these ideas are bouncing around my head. And I don't think I felt like that since like A-level art.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like, I was like, oh, must be what people talk about. Because otherwise I'd always just been a bit like I was passionate about my previous job because it was all to do with my personal experience, having ill mental health after having my little girl, helping other ladies. But then that started to impact my personal life and like taking a lot out of me mentally. So then it lost I couldn't carry on doing any of that anymore because it wouldn't have been safe or sensible for me to do so. So yeah, it's very much that first thing where I've been like, what do you mean I can just sit here and like 4 hours and make these really beautiful, shiny, glittery nails for someone, and they're gonna be really made up with them and maybe get some more, and this is how I'm gonna pay my bills this month.
Doesn't it feel fake sometimes? You're like, I shouldn't like my job this much. And then you're like, no, that shouldn't be abnormal that people. But sometimes you do. I'm like, oh my God, I get to chat to the most amazing women every day. Literally laugh my head off every single appointment. Like, just have the most fun, talk about the stupidest, weirdest, random, but then also support people and talk on serious stuff as well. And I'm like, how
you're holding
people?
people's hands. It's intimate. It's like a hairdresser. Like, they've got your hair and your head in their hands. It's an intimate moment. Like, it's you're breaking a personal boundary there.
Yeah,
There's a trust there. But just on like the topic of as well, for me, with press-ons, but also with the in-person work, like, one of my goals is to try and make it really clear that it's not just about women sitting pasturing me. And it can be men, it can be binary individuals, it can be anybody that wants to express themselves, because I think it has become quite a siloed kind of like binary industry.
Yeah, and I'm so guilty sometimes of being like, oh, the girls are loving this week. Because, you know,
Yeah.
posting them, sometimes I have to be like, wait, delete that.
Because you've got amazing
My
artists.
clients are loving
Like
this.
Jack, is it
Yeah,
Jack? But like
yeah.
he is just, yeah, he's great.
Yeah,
He's
there's
passionate.
Jack, there's James Nailed the Coffin.
Yeah.
There's a guy who's started, I think he's quite new, but I didn't realise he was new either. He's called something talented now, something like that.
Right.
Like as in like
Well,
talent.
this is what I mean. Like
The Welsh nail guy, who's the guy who does the cat eyes as well.
yeah.
I can't
Oh,
remember his name.
Alex.
Alex.
Oh my days.
Is it Alex does nails?
Yeah,
Something like that.
it's right.
She'll
She'll lick him in the bile. But like,
and there's male clients as well, and there's, like you say, like non-binary clients, and yeah, it is really, because you sometimes just live into like, it's a women
and
industry.
I don't want nails to become another place where people start to feel any kind of dysphoria.
Yeah,
I want it
Yeah.
to be more of like I can access a part of myself that I want to express. And did I put that hand in the lamp? I did, didn't I? I'm not sure. Stick in her. Let's just put it in just in case.
one harm should just huff it in.
And I think with press-ons as well, there may be people that aren't comfortable coming to like present themselves in a selling space or in even a private space of kind of like sitting and getting what they believe to be a female only experience.
Yes, I had someone message, they never actually booked, but they were like, is it weird? Will it look strange? Will other people be in the salon? Will they question it because I'm like nail presenting? Was very much like, I love doing my nails, I love having them out, I don't mind them being in public, but will it be weird if I sit in the chair and there's other people in the salon seeing me? And I was like, no, but if that concerns you, we can book you in on a day where there's nobody else in.
Yeah.
There's options like that. I know obviously not every nail tech has that option, but
I think that's something that I really want to try and make as clear as possible to people, that like, I'm not trying to offer this to any particular type of person. If you like nice sparkly thingy, yeah.
which why would it be?
Yeah.
Molly's loves getting this nails done.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, my husband loves a little manicure. If I do my clothes on my finger, and I'm
He
like,
made me paint the try to. I bet I could do it well better now. It was years ago, but he made me do like some of the Ibiza Club logos when he went to Ibiza on his nails. And obviously they were like tiny little nails to work. He still asks like when he's doing them. I'm like, you literally book a slot, get on fresh a minute.
yeah. Put yourself
50% deposit, get
Put a
paid.
deposit down. Can't let me down. No, yes. So I think it's there are so many different factors that are coming to me, like making the decision to do this. But primary one, like the absolute top of the list, is just like I enjoy it. A lot of my closest friends are in like creative fields, and I won't lie if like I say there's been in the past like some element of me that's felt jealousy isn't a word, because I've always been so incredibly happy for them, and like
Yes.
but like there has been an element of me being like, I wish that could have been me.
Yeah, there surely is a word for this, because I always say
It's
that.
not
Sometimes it's not that
jealousy.
you're jealous and like bitter and like
not
you're not
envy.
supportive, but you like, oh, you look at something and almost you're looking on at them and you're like, wow, I love what you're doing. I love
love a
that
bit
for
of
you.
that.
I would
Even
also
just a
like
little
that.
bit of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and so it's that thing of, and I sat down, I was like, what is stopping me?
Yeah. I love that attitude though. I really
Is in the fear of not earning money next month. If it doesn't work out, get another job.
get another job. Yeah, we get another job.
And
Aldi pays fucking great.
Aldi is meant to be a very good employer.
Yeah, you
They're
get
very-
6 months maternity full pay.
See what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
And I think what I like about press-ons is that it also then gives me the opportunity to just sit on my own. I still create something,
Bit of mindfulness.
but I'm not having to like drain the social battery, because some days I can be like well up for speaking to people for hours on end. And there were some days where I just don't have it in me. I compare it to if anyone did GCSE or A-level art, you know, and you were like getting close to your final exams and you'd get hours up in the art department.
See, I never did art. I did woodwork randomly. Could have become a joiner.
Come on, woodwork.
So I never did art, but I remember my friends going off on me like I'm in my art class for 4 hours.
Mate, that is sensational. Woodwork.
And do you know what I did for my final project? Which I think is the life hack. And clearly my teacher did as well, because I got an A for it. I actually did a flat pack piece of furniture. But so my final presentation was instructions and loads of wood that I'd sanded down, treated, cut to the right size, and put some handles and screws in with. And he never actually even made me build it to prove it could go together.
Did it go tailor?
I don't know. I never tried. Who knows? I think we had it in my mum and dad's garage for a little bit, but we never.
It had the concept.
Yeah.
Doing together.
And I got it.
Day or not. I know. So yeah, whether it's flat pack furniture or sit in the art department, yeah, it's very much that kind of like, that's where I used to have, that was my escape as a child. And I needed that very much. It was literature. So like, it was reading and it was music and it was art. And that was my escape.
Yeah, so no wonder you fell into such a creative job role if like those are the things that light your fire.
Really did. Set my wheels on fire, to light.
So in terms of pricing then,
Yeah.
shall we talk about how the heck you price them? Because
I know you mentioned.
well, I know you mentioned before about like, was it deluxe or something you said about the nail art?
Like a complex.
Complex, that was the word.
I mean, if it's gonna require like every element in the book, I mean, like cat-eye, chrome, 3D work, gens, etc. For example, that set I did for Chloe, that was £100
yeah.
because I worked it out kind of like, this is probably gonna take me such and such a amount of time. I want to get paid this much an hour.
Yeah.
The same as my services that I'd offer in person.
Yeah, of course.
Because I see people pricing these beautifully detailed, amazing sets of nails for like £35. And I'm like, that took you hours.
Yeah.
And you've just, I don't know, like it just feels like unjust.
I do feel like there is an element as well of kind of knowing what your time is worth and make sure you get that no matter the service. So I've seen it, not press-ons aside, but it still applies. But I've seen it with like, basically you should look at your diary, and if it's like you charge, I don't know, 45 quid for a set of gel toes that take you an hour, then why are you charging £50 for a set of nail art that takes you 2 hours? Because you're only getting £10 extra for that hour's work. Like, no matter what your day looks like, if you're working 8 hours, you should be earning that amount of money. And I remember seeing that and thinking, yeah, that makes so much sense. That is so not obvious.
And I
first pricing
in that way, but yeah, I gave myself the thing of, if you are going to do this, you need to hit X amount per week to be able to cover the mortgage, the nursery fees, the shopping, etc. So to earn that amount, if I was to do what I believe to be my minimum amount of clients starting out, it would have to be priced at X.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I wasn't, and it had to match or be more than what I was earning at the NHS.
Yeah. And then I suppose,
And that was my baseline.
your prices with client in the chair versus press-ons had to match as well. Like the hourly rate has to be the same.
100%. It is very much, and I do say to people, I manage their expectations, and I say it totally depends what you're looking for. Like if they're going to be because I don't know if you're the same, but let's say if it's isolated chrome, but they want really organic shapes and it's fluid, that's not going to take as long as a super specific realism situation. They're both complex, but they're not going to take as long.
Yes, and I think sometimes you get sets, don't you, where they look more complicated than they are.
Yeah.
And vice versa, like something that'll look simple and it's not.
Absolutely. It's like when people go, I just want a simple French. Like, no, I'm sorry. Like, that's squeaky bum time. You're asking me for a French. I'm like, whoop.
Yeah, I'd rather do like an aura.
Yeah.
Where people would look at that and see like the two colours and see the like this and be like, oh, that must be complicated.
But if you're confident in kind of manipulating the product in a certain way and you've got a good flow of things, if you build a good workflow, it can be like, say for example, I did a set that was more like it's kind of like a Renaissance medieval inspired set, each nail different. Like,
I never thought I'd hear anyone say those words about now, so I'm so keen to see what this set looks like, please.
Oh, it was so I did like a little dancing devil of one of them in like a little frame. It was so fun.
Yeah.
And I got a playlist on. It was all like, you know, like it's called Bardcore, and it's like medieval covers of popular songs.
No, but I'm gonna
I was literally like, I'll take another bite. Woo!
Like, it was just, yeah, that was a lot of fun to do. But that, again, lots of different details, different skills that do take longer. Whereas I'm very comfortable with an organic shape. I'm sure that the product that I'm using, I've got accustomed to how it flows, how it works. I can make that happen quicker. But the maximum so far I've charged for press-ons has been £100. And I think as things scale up, I will start to kind of, if it's something that requires a lot of detailed paint work, it could be more expensive.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I've given myself kind of a max. And because some people, understandably, are like, "Oh, whoa, that's too expensive." They really don't expect that to be my price.
But then I also think when you look at it as cost per wear, if someone would pay, I don't know, 50 quid and be happy with that for a set that's done in person, but then they're getting press-on sets that they can use.
Well, you can go get your highlights done or a full head of bleach for like 100 quid, and that's going to last you until your roots grow out and you get it done again.
Yeah. How long do you say the press-ons do last? Is it
It's up to how well people want to look after them.
Right.
I think something that I really want to look into is I want to create like a care guide, etc., maintenance guide, so they can kind of almost service themselves. But I can't remember the account, but I've seen someone, I think they're based in the UX, they do a servicing service. So people can send their press-ons back and they will like make them good as new again and then send them back out. How cool is that though? Yeah, that's an add-on. So they'll like file all the old glue off the inside.
Right.
And if there's any chipping, they'll refresh the colour.
Yeah.
So someone might love that design so much and press-ons might be their jam that they want to like rewear these forever. So they like get them serviced. Like a car. But I think in terms of the actual sets, again, the boundary I set with myself was if this is going to work, if this is going to pay the bills, if this is going to keep everything afloat, you can't be saying, "Oh, I'll do that for 30 quid.
Yeah.
I'll do that for this much." Like, you're just going to have to put your big girl pants on. And if people don't like it, the worst they can say is no.
And have you ever had any pushback on the prices?
Yeah, I had kind of like people, but no one being cheeky.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had that in the real life client's face.
Have you?
Oh God. Shall I tell the story?
You can if you want. You don't have to. I can cut it out.
No, it's quite a good story.
Yeah, go on then.
Juicy. Let's say the juicy gods are juicy. So it was in the first few weeks that I'd started actually advertising, doing nails. And so I was still getting a flow for like how I was going to kind of like, I guess you do have, in my head, I've got a bit of a script with a new client just to kind of gauge kind of like what the vibe is going to be.
Is this when they inquire or when they first arrive?
Kind of both, really. It's just to kind of like give myself this sense of like familiarity and safety. And so like essentially it's like building in policies and having it backed up on my booking site. But this was after this particular experience happened. I was like, I think I need to set some boundaries, and public ones too, so that people know what to expect.
Yeah.
So a lady booked in and she was wanting, she said, "Do you do extensions?" And I said, "Well, I'll do full cover tips. I don't do kind of like extension even overlay. I'll do a tip or I'll do the builder jar. Depending on what you're looking for." And she's like, "Well, I've got a conference or whatever it is, and I really want like a nail." So I was like, "Okay, cool." So we were doing like a red nail. However, she turned up 40 minutes late.
40 minutes?
For her appointment. And again, I was like, in my head, I was like, I'm just grateful that I have someone wanting to come and get the nails done. I've not got anyone else in, so I'll just wait here like a fucking volley.
You do that when you know though, don't you?
But she was 40 minutes late, and then she turned up and she was like, "I don't worry, we live like 2 minutes down the road." And I was having a nap, and I was just like, "Oh, okay." Already just felt like taking a piss out.
Yeah.
So I was like, "All right, okay." We just might not be able to do everything that you wanted, but I can definitely try and leave at work. Like, we can do a full cover tip if you still want to. And she's like, "Yeah, I definitely want to." And she didn't tell me that like she had anywhere to be afterwards.
Yeah.
And we booked out enough time for the service. Maybe some of this was on me for assuming that she didn't have anything on afterwards. But like, is it up to me to ask her about how she manages her times?
Not when she's 40 minutes late and she's like, "I still want the service." Like, that's her opportunity to say, have we got time because I've got to be
Yeah.
here.
So I said to her to the very beginning, I was like, I spend quite a duration of time on my prep because I want them to, I want their attention. Like, I'll make sure that I'm like looking at your nail type and getting to know like how your nail behave and like et cetera, et cetera. And then she was like, yeah, that's fine. And we got like 2 nails in on the extension side of things, and she was like, I really don't think we're gonna have enough time for this. So I said, okay, I can chop those down. I'm not going to remove them because I'd have to soak them off. I'd never read that. So like, I kind of was like, what I'm going to do, chop them down to the rest of her natural length. We did a natural build overlay for the rest of them, and then a red gel polish. And then it got to the end, and she was like, I'm really going to have to go for this meeting. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. She's like, Cintas isn't really what I wanted, and I'll give you a tenner. No, you're not. See, this is just why I was like, Libby, boundaries. You need to put your big girl pants on, because I was just so embarrassed by the whole situation, and I felt so upset by like, I felt like I'd done something wrong.
You would though as a beginner, like I'm saying, like no, you won't, bitch. But even now, I think if someone crying, I went, I'm paying this. So taken aback,
and I kind of was so offended by the tenor that I said, you know what? No, you can just go. I just wanted it to like be out of my house, and then I just cried. Yeah, but
so real.
And so like, why do I think I can do this? Why am I doing this? Like, you stupid idiot! Like,
It's so sad though that people like that can make you lose all confidence.
And then she had the audacity to message me on Facebook, Leah being like, "Don't worry about today, darling. Don't sweat it."
Actually, you don't worry.
What the hell? So I was like, what? I don't know. I did too much.
Yeah, that's definitely too much.
Then after that, I was like, we're gonna have to put some booking policies and stuff in here.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a few rules around here.
Yeah. I do think it is that classic tale of like, you find out what you really don't want to happen, and then you put the steps in place to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Every policy is there for a reason because someone has done the thing. I always think that when you see like even ridiculous policies of stuff and you're like, that's happened because someone has done that. Numpty.
Yeah.
So has selling the press-ons ever impacted your in-person nail business? Like, how do the clients cross over in that sense?
So there's been a couple of times where it's felt a bit like squeaky bum tone. It's not impacted it yet. Yeah, I can see how it might do.
Have you found like any of you in-person clients have gone, oh, I might just get press-ons and stop coming to you? Like, have you lost any? It's just such a different audience at this point.
I think it's a different audience, and 9 times out of 10 with the press-ons, it's people that don't live anywhere near me.
And that's why they want them as press-ons.
Yeah, that seems to be the vibe.
Yeah, that makes sense, I suppose, because I was thinking, oh God, like, do you know, if you start doing press-ons with some regular clients, would you just shift someone from a regular client paying every 3-4 weeks to someone who is then doing a one-off fee and that's it, you don't see them again? But
I think people want different things out of the different products. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Some people like the experience of coming in the salon. If you're a press-on client, it's because you don't want that experience.
Or because it's just like you don't... there's loads of different kind of reasons behind it. But at the moment, I've not experienced any crossover or kind of like people flitting from one to the other.
That's good.
Which is good, yeah. That is positive. But it is very early days, so that could change.
Maybe there'll be a business plan one day.
Maybe.
Maybe she'll get run.
Probably not.
Shall we do a nightmare from the nail desk, which is where we solve a listener dilemma?
I really love an agony at the moment.
Perfect. Right.
I feel like I need like a wig or something. Full character.
Oh my God, I should do that, shouldn't I?
No,
we should get like,
you know, like a proper like...
We'll get into character.
A Karen wig moment.
No, I feel like we're the agony aunts defending against Karens. We're like,
oh, aren't we?
Karens get away.
Yeah.
We're not the Karens.
Okay, fair enough, yeah.
We're like the experts against Karen. We're like anti-Karen.
I got too excited about the whole thing.
You thought Karen.
Yeah.
No, we need like a pink one or like...
Oh my God, yeah, like the beauty school dropouts.
Yeah.
Like Frenchie.
Oh my God, yes. Yes, okay, right. Ordering on Amazon immediately. I've been doing a client's nails for 2 years. She's really lovely and has always been loyal, but last week she came in with a set that I haven't done on her nails. She didn't mention that she'd had to go elsewhere or that she'd had any issues with lifting, etc. But I know that set wasn't one that I'd done on her. She didn't say anything at all, and it was so awkward. I didn't want to sound confrontational, so I didn't say anything, so I just infilled them with my products. Now I don't know if she's planning to leave me. I feel hurt, but I don't know if I'm overreacting. Do I bring it up or act normal?
So I'm going to preface this by saying, like, I'd rather be a safe nail tech than for everyone to like me.
That was my thoughts.
So my first thought was, I just know that I'm a gobshite, and I'd be like, who did these then?
Where have you bloody been, bitch?
Who did these? 'Cause I certainly didn't. And make a joke out, like, it doesn't have to be serious. Like, you could be like, you've been cheating on me, you've been playing all day. Because people will do, circumstances change. People might need to do something last minute. You might not have availability.
Well, I had it this month. I didn't have availability for one of my clients, and she was like, "I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to book in elsewhere because I don't want to not get my nails done." But she's got her appointment booked in for the end of the next.
Yeah.
Like she's coming back.
Yeah, but if someone came in, I'd have to be like real with them and be like, look, if this is someone else's work,
Yeah.
I have to do a removal.
Yeah, that was my thought. Is like,
Because I
really can't infill it.
I don't know what's lurking underneath.
Yeah.
You can't, I mean, maybe this is cynical of me, but like, I had to assume that maybe the best practices weren't followed. Because if I'm going to infill that and then she ends up with like pocket lifting and there's some kind of like bacteria or fungi that leads to like a whole nail plate starting to lift from the nail bed.
Yeah.
That's then on me for not checking.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. I agree, I think. But I would have to approach it with her.
And I'd also give the advice of like, it's not that deep. Like, none of it's that personal. Like, as much as we were like, it's not just nails, it is just nails. You see what I mean? Like, it isn't, it isn't.
Yeah, like, I think because we do get so personal with people and we do chat so much about all these different personal things, we get to know them. So if they go elsewhere, like, it's human nature to be a bit disappointed and think, oh, have I done something? Do they not like me? And it's that self-doubt, isn't it? Do they not like me? Whatever.
But human to human being, you can always just be like, were you happy with your lab set?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a confrontation.
I think I would just literally say something like, so these weren't the last that I did, were they? And then they'll obviously say like, no. And then you say like, right, we're gonna, not in like a, I feel like that was like, right. I don't mean like, right. But I'd just be like, okay, that's not a problem. The only thing is I can't infill with this product because I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And maybe ask what they've got on the nails.
Yeah.
Because it might be that they turn around and they go, look, I know you use X brand. I couldn't get in with you, so I went somewhere else. I looked at for another private nail tech who used that. She used the same brand, the same colour on it. And then I'd be like, right, okay. Whereas if it's like, I went to the walk-in and I got some like MMA acrylic, I'd be like,
don't get me.
okay, we're going to need to, you're going to need to get them removed from there because I don't want that to be my problem. No, first and foremost.
I've done two and like what they thought were acrylic, what around they removals, and I've always said to them, I've been like, you need to actually report the salon that you've been to because it is illegal to be using this kind of products.
First of all, try and find out what's on the nails. Like, you can't just...
No, yeah.
Obviously, this, you have just infilled it, because you panicked, whatever, but take the lesson and learn from it. I don't think you should beat yourself up about the way you reacted.
Like, just because it felt a bit icky, it's good to hold on to that experience and be like, well, what did that bring up in me? Why did I feel so disappointed? And I learn how to maybe like handle that disappointment a bit differently, like in myself. Like, it's all a lesson. It's all a really good lesson, actually, because I can imagine that is just such a common thing. It would be, and they wouldn't be sat in your chair if they really hated those nails that much.
Well, no, they wouldn't, which makes me think it's probably that they couldn't get in with you. They needed them quickly for an appointment. If they haven't said anything about lifting, I wouldn't overthink it and think, oh, they chipped and then they went elsewhere and they didn't tell me. But I would just maybe keep an eye on her retention because it could be that if she's booked in with you and then 4 weeks later she's come back, then why did she need to go elsewhere in between? But she wouldn't be back if she hated your work. So I wouldn't like really imposter syndrome, overthink it, make you lose confidence. But I would just next time be really sure to not drop that boundary and work safely.
Because that's going to happen. I think that's going to like pay dividends. Like if you're known to be someone that is like working on kind of like principled techniques and you're not just going to be like willy-nilly doing stuff, that will ingrain in someone subconsciously, like she knows what she's doing.
Yeah, I think don't beat yourself up about it, but next time don't infill it.
It's a lesson.
Lesson learned. Be right.
Be right.
Fab. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
My absolute pleasure.
Have you got any tips for like anybody who's thinking of starting press-ons? What would be your main lesson learned, or like your biggest tip for people to take away from this podcast?
I think it's just like try it.
Yeah.
What is the worst that happens? Especially if you're already a nail tech,
Mm.
you lose nothing. If I know that a lot of nail techs don't like doing their own nails,
Yeah.
but if you still want nice nails for an event, why don't you just start doing your own press-ons?
Oh my god, I did that at Christmas. I'm such a liar. I said I've never done press-ons. I have for myself at Christmas.
How dare you lie to me?
I'm a liar.
The guts of
Yes, I did that at Christmas and I've kept them in a little bag. Fab. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I've thoroughly enjoyed this and I feel like it'll be such a great episode
I hope so.
for a lot of people. No, it really is, because it's not something I've ever spoken about before, and I think a lot of nail techs either don't consider it or don't really know where to get started, or would, like you say, price themselves really low,
Yeah.
assuming that there's not the market for it. But I think you are proof that there is a market for it,
Thank
priced
you.
properly. And yeah, I can't wait to see where you continue to take this. So thank you so much for coming on.
I really
What about
appreciate
you?
it. Thank you for asking me. Because, like I said, it's as if you thought I knew what I was doing. I'm just winging it.
We all are. We all are. And I feel like they're our great parting words. We're all just winging it. So thank you very much for watching, listening. Wherever you get your podcasts, please give us a like and a subscribe, because it really does help to keep this thing ticking along. I'll see you in a couple of weeks for the next episode. But thank you very much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.